Hi everyone. In my last video I said that I had ordered the new Fuji X100VI and I wanted to report back with some thoughts and feelings from having used the camera for a few weeks here in Spain. The addition of sensor stabilization is probably the biggest upgrade from the previous model. When I read that this was going to be a feature, I was genuinely surprised and excited. This makes the camera much more usable for video and I've really enjoyed playing with this. Adding the stabilization has meant that I've called upon the built-in ND filter much more to make slower shutter shots. It's been fun and creative. I've probably overdone these slow shots, but it's a new toy and I'm simply having fun. This new combination of having IBIS and the ND really makes you appreciate how full of features this camera is. As with all of the previous models, I appreciate the portability of the X100VI. In recent years I have not been very motivated to take a camera out with me as part of my daily routine. Although not especially pocketable, it's certainly light when worn around your neck. And the camera's gorgeous looks are another reason to feel happy to hang out with it all day. Fuji have essentially kept the winning design from the previous model and even improved it ever so slightly. Has anyone noticed that they have removed the tiny red notch from the EVF lever? I always thought this was an unnecessary and distracting use of a very eye-catching colour on the front of the body. Who in their right mind would want a red mark on the front of their camera? This video is dedicated to the heroic person in the Fuji design team who rid us of that tiny red mark. Next up, the articulating LCD screen is perfectly designed and extremely useful. It always confused me how clunky some of these pull-out screens are on other cameras. This is beautifully executed. I fell in love with the look of this new sensor when I had the X-T5 and was excited to have it in this smaller body. I appreciate the extra megapixels, but especially the certain look it gives to images. As with all previous models, I very rarely use the optical viewfinder. Somehow it feels like this is part of the camera's soul. It's important to how I think of the camera, but not very meaningful to me on a practical level. Okay, next is a characteristic of the camera that I have had some soul-searching conversations with myself about: the focal length. Was it Chris Nichols who planted that seed of doubt in my mind with his long-standing campaign of hate against the 35mm view of the world? Or did I start to feel this way all by myself? The truth is, in most situations I would prefer a 28 or 50mm view, 20 for street scenes, 50 for portraits. But each of these is just one conversion lens away. You can think of it as a compromise, but an optimist would say that in many ways the camera is optimized for versatility. I have really loved using this camera, and I think it has started to rekindle my love for everyday pictures. That's all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Lastly, I don't sell things on this channel, but if you're looking for a wedding photographer, simply search for me on Google and you'll find me there. Thanks everyone.